y'all, can you believe it's already part 3 of section 1 of my introduction to the basics for sewing African wax print fabrics and incorporating them into fall fashion? My name is Nicole. I am a content creator and I am a seamstress of 20 plus years in the sewing realm. I have spent the last 9 plus years sewing specifically with African wax prints fabrics, from keychains to ball gowns, and so I'm here to share my knowledge with you and to hopefully help you to consider and incorporate more African wax print fabrics into your fashion, into your sewing, and into your home decor. So thank you so much for joining me for part 3. What do I call it? I don't want to call it day 3 because I'm not doing this like every day of the week, right? So I feel like this should be like section 1, part 3. Yeah, when I do this. So anyway, let's talk about caring for wax prints. And let me see if I have a brand new one that I haven't like unfolded or done anything with yet. Because you know, if you're a true fabric person, you'll buy the fabric and you don't open it right away, child. You let it sit there and marinate for a little while till you're ready for it. Let me see. Y'all, I think I've been good and actually opened all of them like I should be, like I should have. Let me see here. I found one. It's open, but I didn't take the sticker off yet. I bought this fabric because it reminds me of my grandmother, Bessie Ruth. She was a teacher, and then when she retired, she was an art teacher for this program called Culture of Black and White that was done at like Bishop State Community College. And so when we were younger, we'd go there with her sometimes, but she always had lots of artsy and craftsy things around her home. Like she taught me how to crochet, how to do sand art. She would tell me about sewing. She didn't teach me how to sew on a sewing machine, but she did teach me how to sew like sequins and beads with a needle and thread. So she loved Hawaii. She always talked about how she went to Hawaii and she wished she could have gone back. And so she would often wear these like tropical looking hibiscusy florally prints, shirts mainly, when I would see her, and that was like her main aesthetic. So when I saw this fabric, then it reminded me of her. But so a lot of African prints, they come in 6-yard widths, and most suppliers, if you buy the whole 6 yards, which is considered in bulk, then they will give you like a discount. So let's say this fabric might cost $9 or $10 or $12 a yard, but if you get 6 continuous yards, then it might only cost you like $6, $7, or $8 a yard, because they give you a discount for just buying the whole thing. They don't have to go through the work of cutting it into yards, etc. And if you notice, because I have tape on my sewing table to help me like measure yardage when I'm sewing, makes it a lot easier when I'm stretching the fabrics out. Like I'm at Joann's, you know how when they stretch the fabric out and to cut out your fabric. So I have a similar tape. My sister, I think, gifted it to me on my sewing table to help it be a lot quicker when I'm measuring out. Saying that to say, when I do stretch this out and I'm measuring in yards, there's always a crease at each yard point, which I find very interesting. So that's just a little extra tidbit. But so stickers, they usually sometimes have stickers here to hold it together. I usually just pull those off, and they do have some sticky left on it, but at the bottom, that's usually the hem. You can get around that. And then they usually have stickers on here like this that aren't usually favorable to you just pulling them off. So what I like to do, my ironing board's over there, but just imagine. When I get a new fabric is I take it over to the ironing board and put it sticker side down and just take the warm iron and rub it over the back of the sticker to heat up like the sticky part. And then it makes it a lot easier to peel the sticker off of the fabric. So that's just a tip. If you have more tips, I'm open actually to more ways to do that. Please put them in the comments. Another tip for if you're gonna buy the 6 yards of fabric that I need to put in my notes, but you need to know I did a TikTok about it, is if you have a local fabric store like a Joann's or a Hancock or something, Michael's maybe too, I've heard Michael's does it, but I haven't asked Michael's personally. you can go to the counter and ask them for old or extra fabric bolts. Like once they take all the fabric off of a bolt, they usually put it under the table and then just throw them away at the end of the day. So if you go up to them, I don't care if they got 2 bolts or 20 bolts, you can just take all those for free, take them home and use them to wrap up your fabrics. So I want y'all to start looking into that and doing that. And if you have done it and there's somewhere that's not Hancock, Joann's, or Michael's that does it, can you put it in the comments and let the people know who might not have those stores but have other stores that do a similar thing? And I keep them. I know I got an empty bolt around here. Ta-da! And these are 3 different type of bolts I just happened to grab. So this is for your widths of fabric that are 44 to 46 inches usually. This still has an old sticker on it and it says it was for a 44-inch fabric. Most wax prints, just the cottons, go 44 to 46-inch width. So this would be perfect for that. This is usually for the longer widths that are your 54, 56, 60-inch widths. Let me see how long this is. This is, y'all see this ruler coming in handy? This is actually about 30 inches in width. And see how it has this segmented part? So technically, you can like slip a piece of the fabric in here to anchor it and then start folding, wrapping it onto here. Then this is a similar one in size, but it doesn't have the way you can open it up. So then you would just have to, you know, wrap the fabric all the way around and then start rolling it to wrap your fabric. So that's a useful tip too, if you're someone who keeps a fabric stash and doesn't like it like folded up on a shelf, which I don't like doing. I have fabrics like that, but it's easier for me to put them on bolts like they're at the fabric store and stack them up in my fabric closet, where hubby was kind enough to put me some shelves in there to make it easier to see all of my fabrics. Still a lot of fabric, don't judge me. And so let me look at what's the next thing. Yeah, so another thing I love about cotton wax prints, breathable, right? Quality, biodegradable, sustainable fabrics, if you're into that. So make you feel a little better and more conscientious about the imprint that you're putting on the environment when you use cotton wax prints. And they're machine washable. I would like to say, yeah, almost like 100%, I would say, of the items that I have made, you can wash them in the washing machine. Now, whether you dry them is another thing. Like for the laces, I probably would do delicate and then hang them to dry, and then I wouldn't iron the lace part. Well, this one is like cotton, right? And then a design embroidered on the cotton. This is like mesh and then embroidering on the mesh. So I would treat this one a lot more differently and delicately. This one, actually, I probably would just send it to the dry cleaner. But this one that's the cotton with the embroidery, I would just throw this in the washing machine. I would throw it in the dryer and I would iron it. If it's just a regular dress. Now, if it's a dress with like a sweetheart neckline with boning in it for structure and like some intricate stuff on it, then I would probably also send it to dry clean it or spot clean it, just because of the nature of the garment. Does that make sense? Comment below. All right, so that is the conclusion of my tips for beginner's guide to working with wax prints. I like them too. They don't fray. You can cut them. You know, some fabrics like brocades, or like this is a brocade. It's not African print. I got it at Joann's. And you could think of it like loom work, but you see how this is fraying? All this fraying, and it's just sitting here minding its business. Like, it's the way the fabric is woven is that it's prone to fraying a lot, so you have to do a couple little extra things to keep it from doing the frayation. But with these African wax prints, and even with these laces, you don't have that issue. That's another thing I love about them, is that they kind of look fancy. They're beautiful, vibrant prints. Some of them are. I like the vibrant. I like color. And easy to sew. This is actually, by the way, this is a polyester blend. I didn't say that in the beginning of the video. So this isn't 100% cotton wax print. So if that's something that is important to you, when you're looking at listings from reputable fabric dealers that you find through trial and error, look for fabric suppliers who put the width of the fabric in the description, or ask who put the content of the fabric. Like some might market it that is silk, and then you ask and they say it's actually a poly silk blend. Well, how much silk is in it? How much polyester is it? You know what I mean? Those questions, for the most part, should be able to be answered if you're getting your fabrics from a supplier. So that's some other tips as you're looking around to purchase African wax prints. All right, so next video, I'm gonna highlight some sewing essentials and tools, different rulers, and different, like, what do you call them? Accessories? I don't know what you call it, like things like elastic and interfacing, and tips for what you like need to have on hand, thread, you know, that's important. So things like that will be in the next video that will help you sewing with wax prints. Yeah, and then we'll talk about the next video after that video. Thank you for watching. I'm excited to see y'all on part 4. Have a productive day. Looking forward to reading your comments. Bye.